straddle.
I definitely go in front of the chair.
You have to in this situation. How are you going to get your knees
Oh,
up?
no, you get under here. You go under the table as you sit.
So you sit and swivel? A sit and swivel instead of a straddle?
No, I think you're overanalyzing like you do everything. Jay?
Neil.
Will. Thanks, guys. Who invited me?
Hey, we're back.
Right?
Season 2, Episode 2 of Who Invited Will. To my left, I have the reigning, defending, undisputed Gyoza champion of the world, Neil Schneider.
Boys, motherfucking boys! We're back. Here we go.
Turn away when you scream, by the way.
No.
Like this. Boy.
Okay.
Boys.
Who is this guy on the
And to my right, I have the man whom this podcast is named after, Will Yum F. Buckley, trainer.
That's me! Gotcha.
Neil is literally killing my ears. I need to turn these headphones down. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going down.
Listen, the energy is hot tonight. Like, super hot. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
Like, super hot.
Guys, how was your Thanksgiving?
So hot as those gyoza on your plate?
I have to, Neil. I have to. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, how was y'all's Thanksgiving?
Come on.
We'll do up a little bit again.
Is that better?
I hate it.
Here's
Hey,
the problem, Neil.
how
People
was
don't
y'all's
want
Thanksgiving?
So before we talk about dumb
Thanksgiving?
holidays, no, I'm just kidding. Thanksgiving is not dumb, but what
It's
is
not
dumb
dumb.
is that there's a plate of gyoza sitting on the table, and it's been about 2 minutes, and we haven't addressed that yet. So let's talk about what this episode's going to be about, and that is the 50 gyoza challenge. Now, Neil, could you explain to us what is the 50 gyoza challenge?
I think we should throw it to Will. Will, why don't you explain what the 50 Gyoza Challenge is all about? But first, tell me your power rankings of your Thanksgiving appetizers.
So, Will, what is the 50 gyoza challenge?
So the 50 gyoza challenge is a challenge that we came up with back in the day. Neil and I interned together as interns.
We're pushing Will's.
This is why I wanted Will. This is why I wanted Will to tell the story, because I knew he'd say something ridiculous like that, and I can't.
Can I just?
I'm sorry.
Can I tell my story?
I'm sorry.
So the whole story is Neil is fat, as we all know. He likes to eat food, as we all know. He just has no taste in food, as we all know. So we went to a truck stop, food truck. And
all of our
this
levels
food
I'm
truck
sorry.
is it's no longer exists. Shout out to Manga.
I hope that's better.
The truck stop?
Manna from heaven.
I hope we sound better, studio audience.
Wait,
So this is falling off the rails. The 50
No,
gyoza
I got it.
challenge
The
is...
The 50 gyoza challenge is the reptiles at the truck stop. No, okay, that was another joke. The 50 gyoza challenge is we interned together. He thought he could eat 50 gyozas, and he's like, that would be easy. And this was 7 years ago. And then what happened was we just got around to it now because this whole season is going to be about challenges.
Challenges, baby. So...
Wait, was Will talking? So...
Please don't describe everything.
No. We were interns, and we went to this place. This is called Manna from Heaven. It's a
So he's gonna
one of the
mansplain
best
me.
food trucks in Denver. Just unbelievable. They only do weddings now. They're no longer. We'll get into it. They no longer do just food truck stuff. So Will told me, I got like 6 pot stickers as part of my lunch with the banh mi, and he told me. I looked at him. I said I could eat 50 of these. He said there's no way. And this goes back all the way. This is 2012.
Wait. This sounds like an eerily similar story to what I just told.
So listen,
in 2012, you guys ate some gyoza. Will asked Neil, do you think you could eat 50 of these?
No,
Neil
he
said
didn't ask
yes.
me. No, I proclaimed to the world.
No, he said it would be easy to eat 50, and I said bullshit. So we're gonna find out tonight. Let's get it started. Neil has 5 on his plate. He has 45 more.
Everyone can
eat.
see that I have 5 gyozas on the plate.
5. Let's put 5 up on the board. He's got 5 on the plate. Bing. All right.
5.
We're just gonna have so many.
It's like Family Feud. It's like Family
be...
Feud. 5 people answered this question.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So okay.
He has an hour to eat them. We're already an hour into the podcast.
Feels like it.
Neil, I have one question for you.
What's up?
Are you hungry?
I'm really. Thank you for bringing that up. To be honest, everyone that's viewing, I'm really not even hungry right now. but I'm going to prove a point today.
He's such a
because
competitor.
this is going to be such an easy challenge. I mean, it's going to be embarrassing what I'm going to do to Will today.
See, remember when we're supposed to talk into that and not into that?
You remember when you're not supposed to interrupt me with when
I've been
saying
looking
nothing?
at the computer the whole time. I'm just staring at us in the computer. For the
good.
viewers, there's a monitor right below the camera over here, and we just if you see us looking at the camera at the computer, it's just us looking.
How far into the podcast are we? So I've got 5 gyozas loaded. I've got 50 made.
5 minutes in.
We are 0 gyoza into the podcast.
We're 0
right now,
gyoza.
and the clock is ticking. He's got an hour.
I've got an hour to eat 50.
Don't worry, that
this
podcast
is going
will
to
not
be,
last an hour. Everyone.
This is going to
You
be.
sound better with the louder mic, Will, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
This is going to be the easiest challenge I've ever done in my entire life. And you know the best thing about this is we have a...
He knows what Burger King tastes like.
All right, we're going back to the last season. So
That's a callback, guys.
It's a shitty callback. Okay, so...
The guy that
I'm
doesn't
gonna
know what a callback is.
All right. Let him talk.
I mean, I
Let him
have a
talk.
microphone.
We're jumping over each other.
So, I'm going to eat these 50 gyozas easily. Probably, I would say 44-minute mark. I will complete the challenge as we do the podcast at the same time. So I'm actually going to be multitasking. I'm going to handle it with ease.
And you got first story duty, too, by the way.
And I have first story duty, which is... What else is new? You know what I'm saying?
What is
Am
that?
I right?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
He's got to tell the first story. I just mean.
I don't really know what that means, Will.
Oh.
But
Well,
at the
you
end of
got-
the
you got a
day,
little black
by the end of the day, the
There it
best
is.
the
It's
best
gone.
news is
Mike
if
Pence.
Will and I have a little bit of a gentleman's bet on this challenge,
Yeah.
and when I complete this, did you put hand sanitizer? We're in a COVID environment. This thing, I swear, Jay.
We gotta get that fixed for next episode.
I can use
All
it.
business Jay. He's the producer, and this is just out of control. This thing has broken on me
It won't
2
fall off
times now.
again.
Should we have a broken counter? Ding.
Come on,
2
okay,
times. This microphone.
focus.
All right. When I complete this challenge, I have a challenge down the road. It's going to be an 18-18-18 challenge. Not to ruin further episodes, but I will run 18 miles, drink 18 beers, and eat 18 donuts all in 24 hours. And Will's going to supply the donuts and the beer. And I can't wait for it.
If he wins this challenge.
When
If
I
not,
complete.
When he completes. If
Yeah.
he does not complete, he's going to pay for his own donuts and beer.
And also,
which
I'm not even
is
hungry.
part of his typical
Hey, reminder.
weekly routine anyways.
Jay, am I hungry?
What?
Am I hungry?
I don't think you're hungry, sir.
I'm not even hungry.
I-
So, let's start the show. Shall we start the timer?
start it.
Ding. Go ahead.
All right.
Cheers, everyone.
He has 1 hour from now.
This sucks.
The countdown begins.
So, are we talking about a first story, or I think we're just going to get into, is there a story that he's going to tell?
So Neil, you got an MRI today. Can you tell us a little about that?
I think that's why he has the PTSD scare.
Come on.
No appetite.
No, I'll tell you. Yeah, I had an MRI today. I don't know if any of you
They
viewers
couldn't
out there...
find his dick.
Clock's ticking. Gotta eat Gyoza. You gotta tell the
I don't
story
know if
while you're
anyone...
eating
I don't
Gyoza.
know
It's as easy. This
I don't
is
know.
easy.
if...
People are gonna hate the chewing sounds.
It's fine.
I don't know if you ever had an MRI out there, but if you're claustrophobic, which I'm not, to be honest, I can see how it would be a nightmare.
You don't need
An
any water
absolute
with those?
nightmare.
You can get dry?
No, I will, but I may ask later.
Okay.
We may have to edit that in.
All right.
Um,
So you got an MRI.
I
It's
had an MRI
claustrophobic.
today.
You're
No,
claustrophobic.
I've been having headaches for like 6 weeks, but I've been grinding through them. You know, I've been doing work. I've been doing the podcast. I went and got an MRI today.
Keep eating.
I'm not trying to flex on people, but this is like my 7th MRI.
7?
And it's probably because I've been a Division I athlete, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. By the way, I'm 2 gyozas in, and it's been like 45 seconds. It's pretty much easy. So,
Gyoza count.
I went and got...
No, just 5.
guys, I don't know if you know, I went and got an MRI today.
Uh-huh.
And they put me in this machine. As if you had an MRI, you may know. But basically, because they were doing a scan of my head, I had to wear basically like a goalie mask that is super tight on my face. I mean, super tight.
Where are you staring?
It doesn't really matter where
Stare
I'm
at
standing.
us. Stare at us then.
I'm talking to you guys. I'm
Oh,
literally
we're
telling
talking
you
to
the story.
you, the audience.
Jay hasn't. No, I'm talking to you.
Okay, tell me.
So,
I want to make eye
I get
contact.
this goalie mask on my face.
Uh-huh.
Okay, super tight. They put me in this machine where literally the machine is here to your face, and when I'm talking millimeters to your face, you cannot move. And typically, when I've had MRIs in the past, I've had it on my legs, hips. Being an athlete. I don't know if I mentioned that. Division One.
Competitive
Division
eater,
one.
yeah. Division 1 competitive eater.
Shout out Raging Cajuns.
Raging Cajuns. Will knows. Giddy up.
I did the Kramer
I
right
couldn't. I couldn't. Typically, when you go in an MR machine, you can see the back end. You can see the open space behind you. But with this goalie mask, I couldn't see anything except the little space that I had to move my nose up and down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What?
I wasn't
You've
there.
never even had an MRI.
I have had an MRI. I
No,
wasn't
you
there.
haven't.
I have. I tore my MCL and PCL playing football.
That's right. Oh, football.
As not a Division One athlete, as a high school football player. But I'm just trying, and maybe they actually raise you up closer. But the thing
Keep
is
eating.
small. It's a small tube that they're going to put you in, a cylinder that they're going to put you in.
Right.
But you're trying to say that you couldn't move your nose left to right, or it would be hitting the wall. And I'm just calling bullshit on that.
Yeah. Remember, I had a mask on, right? So they were scanning my brain,
So-
not my knee.
You sure you don't want water?
Because
in
my
your voice?
ACL is extremely strong, and my MCL is extremely strong, unlike yours.
Oh, so then why did you have to do it 7 times? It sounds like someone's more injury prone than someone else.
Because there's more ligaments to the body than your knee. I also
Oh,
have
so the
shoulder
rest
issues.
of your body is trash. Okay.
Trash. Ouch.
Okay. Everyone, Neil, show us your elbow.
So you got
Pop it.
claustrophobic? Is that what the story is? You got claustrophobic?
Yes, you got.
So I'm in there,
Oh, yeah, this is good.
and this is my 7th MRI. I've never had any issues.
Sure.
But maybe now because I guess I'm a grown adult now. It's been about 12 years. This is my last MRI. I go in there, they put me in, and immediate. I couldn't see anything except the space. And I work for OSHA. If people didn't know, so
Hashtag safety.
it reminded me of someone who was trapped in a collapsed excavation. I felt like I could not breathe. Also, we're in COVID time. I'm wearing a mask inside. They gave me a new mask that didn't have metal inside of it, so they gave me another mask that wouldn't be affected by the MRI machine. And so you got that mask on. You got a goalie's mask on. I can't see anything. And you're in this, and I felt like I was being sucked into the MRI. And my heartbeat, if they were measuring my heartbeat, I bet it was 180 beats a minute. I could feel my heart beating out of my chest. It was unbelievable. And I started thinking of very negative thoughts of being trapped in an excavation, like a gentleman that I did an inspection with where he passed away. See, now we're getting dark.
God,
you
it
know?
is. It is.
It got very
sounds
dark.
like, it sounds like you took did you take edibles? It sounds like if you ate edibles before you went in, it sounds like
because
when you ate
then
edibles.
he started to then think about death. Well, he was saying about death, and then it's like this whole existential crisis of, oh fuck, what was happening before I was born? Where am I in the universe?
I have to. Neil's gonna load up Gyoza.
I felt
I'm
like
gonna be right back.
it was like I was high, but I wasn't high. I wasn't on any drugs.
It was just a high blood pressure. From
This was prior to the Gyoza challenge.
Okay.
After the Gyoza challenge, it'd be much different. And I felt like I was tripping. Like I started thinking of very negative thoughts. I was thinking about what happens after life, what happens after we die, where have we been all these billions of years since the Earth has been here, and I panicked. I did not give up though.
Did you solve any of those?
It
really
was a
curious.
mental battle, and
No,
it comes
no.
from being an athlete. I swear to God.
I agree. There's some mental toughness
They
that you
get-
have whenever things get bad, and you're like, well, I can
Absolutely.
have that grit to push on. But my more question is because that's
Your more
something-
question?
Yes, my more question is, I really like those more existential questions on, where we were before death and where we're going to go after. So did you come up with anything, or did it just freak you out?
When Neil dies, he's gonna go to a place where it's like an Asian buffet, and all he can eat is gyoza, and he's never allowed to stop. That's basically where Neil's gonna go when he dies. It's called hell.
I'm also in
Gyoza.
very big trouble. I'm 7 in, and I feel
Gyoza hell.
horrible.
Gyoza.
Horrible.
He's in Gyoza Hell right now, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, sorry. I get what you're saying though, Will. That like that panic is, I think, part of the existential like psychedelic journey. You get this sense of panic or this sense of just
not
disorientation
panic,
or something. I guess you could say you don't have to panic, but you definitely feel it's a defamiliarization or a disorientation kind of
that
thing.
whole kind of like out of body experience lets you know that like maybe what we're going through now is just like a moment in time, and that's going to end at some point, and then everything ends. So luckily his MRI ended and he can feel better and gorge his mouth with gyoza. But
did you have any like realizations?
It's an absolute, I realized.
Did you have to like how did you get some water from?
It's an absolute mental battle.
Oh God.
It's all about.
You sound like you're 500 pounds right now.
It's an absolute.
It's an absolute.
You can't even. He hasn't even 10 in.
This is the best thing I've ever had. So I turned that. So a little inside baseball.
It's an absolute mental challenge. It's all mental, and that's what I learned today. How much your mentality can control you.
But then,
that's so huge.
Like, do you think you'll have the mental?
Right?
Do you have the mentality to eat all those gyoza? Do you have that strong mentality?
I'm so negative right now when it comes to this.
Because it goes both ways.
This is thicker
right,
than what we've.
I'll be right back
others.
again.
Neil, it goes both ways because it's the whole idea of you also put yourself in that frame of mind to begin with, and so that negative attitude made you freak out even more, right? Like, I wouldn't.
You know what I started to do? You know what I did to
What?
calm myself down? I started counting down. They told me prior. I've been in MRI setup lasted an hour and a half to 2 hours. This MRI, they told me prior that it's only going to be 15 to 20 minutes. And I looked at the guy and said, 15, 20 minutes? Oh, that's great. I'm in and out. But I was never worried
50
about...
gyoza in and out.
They'll go in my mouth and then back out when I throw them up.
No, this is...
5 minutes later.
I can already tell you this is not going to happen. I mean, these are thicker. Look how thick that is. That is thick.
Neil,
You're giving up
anyone
this quickly.
see that?
Neil literally picked the gyoza. You
could have
knew.
picked small ones.
Yeah, this
You
is
didn't
a
pick-
disaster. This is so much bread. So anyway, I battled through it again, athlete, but it was my anxiety has been through the roof. Thinking about dark, negative things, it challenges you to think positively. And years of playing tennis where things have been going bad, you're playing the worst match of your life. It has taught me how to think in that way. And if I didn't have that, you think it's funny?
No, I think it's funny that you're playing with your food.
If I didn't have that, I would never survive. They gave me
True.
this little thing to squeeze if I wanted to come out. I was 2 seconds from doing it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to battle through this. Because I want to figure out what's going on with my brain. These headaches that I've been having for 6 weeks, this is not right. So I need to figure out what it is. Battle through it and get the scan and get out of there. And I started counting down. I started counting down from like 700, which is, I don't know, like 11 minutes, 12 minutes. And I made it through it. And now I'm here today to eat 50 gyozas. That is definitely not going to happen. So I'm going to have to buy the donuts and buy the beers for my next challenge.
There you go.
So that's where we're at.
That's very good. You come up with a plan. And I think that ties really well into our next segment about financial planning and responsibility and everything around that.
Wait,
spending
Neil,
money.
was that
Spending money.
Was that
Yeah.
Will's first segue?
I think it
Was that his first successful segue of the episode?
What would you give it out of a 10?
I didn't like how he ended it and everything around that.
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
That was
but
poor.
I liked everything else about it.
That
so
was
I'll give
poor.
it a 7.2. 7.2.
7.2?
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty
no.
good.
No.
For first segue,
5.4.
Oh,
Okay.
5.4.
Well, either
Oh,
way,
that's harsh.
that gets us into a next segment.
So
Something that
can
we
you
wanted to-
intro it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us what is the. You say financial planning, but what are we? How does this relate to us? What are we talking about in relation to it?
So last episode we were talking about dating and how that relates to us. This episode we're going to talk about where we are in terms of retirement savings, what we're doing, what we're planning for, and not necessarily us in general, but more just general guidelines that I think that we have found through the years that I think our audience could really benefit from.
So basically financial tips of how to save money appropriately.
Not only save money, it's everything. Invest money, save money, how to use your money.
Yeah,
all about money.
I think
the
that,
money game.
I think that
Floyd Mayweather.
if I had to like talk about us as spenders, the money team, TMT.
Money team.
Yeah. People hopefully will get that.
What?
Lil Jon.
Oh no, that was he said during Conor McGregor.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not worth doing again. I think that if I had to rate the three of us though, like in terms of spending money, I would say I probably spend the most just like without really caring, and Will I would say is the most conservative, and I'd say you're somewhere in the middle, Neil. I'd say, but specifically,
so you would want to be in the middle, right?
Yeah,
that
but
the best place
the problem
to be?
is you're almost too. I think you're more focused on money than either of us do.
Oh,
I think.
and
so,
why
in
do you
some
say
ways.
that? What makes you say that?
I just feel like you're. Well, I don't know, because on the other hand, I feel like you're the most conservative. Like you're the most who's like, oh, I don't want to spend money.
Cheap.
And you also owned your own like place before either of us, so that might have something to do with it.
Huh?
Like, maybe if I had just been like, oh, money is more important, and I need to, manage how I spend
I
it.
definitely agree that I think there is definitely, it's definitely good to be in the middle. Like, I know people that save money almost to a fault. Their quality of life is a lot. I'm not going to say worse.
He's blowing his
I know,
nose.
exactly.
Sorry.
Because
It's a COVID.
we all know his soy sauce is so spicy.
It's a COVID.
I feel like I turned the lights up, and now the lights are too bright. I feel like we should go with it.
No, we're just going to go with it.
All right,
Let's
go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Shadows are harsh.
the whole idea of, to me, the balance that always needs to happen is, do I want to spend money when I'm young and healthy and am able to travel and do the things that I want to do?
Right.
Or do I want to wait until I'm 60, 70 when I retire and then I have a lot of money, but then I don't have the time or
A
the
lot
health
of
on
like
my side?
Viagra and Cialis you could buy though. If you're
Sure.
broke and you're old and your dick stops working,
And
you're done.
really would say that I would way rather be old with money and maybe not have experienced life to the complete fullest instead of old with no money and really had a good time. Because what ends up happening is then your later years, you're like, well, then I have to go work more. I have to...
Jay brings up a good point that I want to reiterate, and that's the
Yeah.
necessity of things. The necessity. When you bring up Viagra and
That's a good point.
what is the other thing?
Cialis.
Cialis.
Yeah.
That is a necessity. If you want to please your partner,
Yeah.
that is something you need
No,
to have the money for.
yourself.
You
Can
can use
I-
your hands in your
I'm
mouth.
sorry. Did I have the table?
You could use the floor. You could
The floor?
you could use
Table?
your hands in your mouth
The edge of this table,
to
baby?
please your partner. You can use oral sex or your fingers. It's
Yeah,
not.
you
It's not a
can,
necessity. It's a necessity.
but it's not the same.
It's a necessity for you to enjoy it as a man.
No.
You're saying if you
You're
can't
telling
get
me
an
that
erection-
because you finger a girl or you eat a girl out that you're
Hey,
going to
let's-
be able to pleasure her?
Let's keep it PG,
Oh,
please.
Sorry.
that you're going to be able to pleasure her
Wait.
appropriately? Not necessarily.
I'm saying the point of Viagra and Cialis isn't to pleasure your partner. It's so
It
that
is,
you as
though.
an old man can still experience
No, but
pleasure
it is-
yourself by having
There's
a
an
boner.
ego-
but
yes,
it's
there's
also
a-
about
it's-
to be able to pleasure your
it's
partner.
I
both.
think
It's
it
an
plays
ego
on all
thing.
of it. It plays on all of it, yeah. So,
But,
so wait,
okay.
okay, that was a bad example, but you're saying
No, it's
it's
not.
necessity.
Okay.
So,
What else is a necessity that you would need? That to
food,
me,
shelter...
food. Splurging on food.
You're like, what other
If
than
you wanna
Viagra
get-
is a necessity? Is it? No, I can't think of one thing.
But then there's, I think what your point, well, I'll let you get to your
Sorry,
point, but
go
what
ahead,
I
I
would
didn't
say
mean
is
to
like,
interrupt
I mean, no
yes,
one's letting you. I'm just
people-
here eating gyozas.
yeah,
How
just
many are you
focus
on?
a
How
little
many are
bit
you
and
on?
we'll let
I'm
you,
on 12.
Third 12?
12.
yeah.
Is that third
so,
I mean, this is a disaster. This is one
I
of my
knew.
worst performances that
I-
I've ever
yeah.
as an
This-
athlete. I mean, these are thick.
Do you need another napkin?
he picked the gyoza. He was the one that prepared these.
Yeah,
he
I
knew
played
what
myself.
he was coming up.
I played
with.
myself.
So getting back to this, what you're talking about, I agree. Like people can go extravagant. You can say, yes, food is a necessity, but then you start going out every day to eat. You start
All right,
going
I got
to...
an example.
Yeah.
When you go to the grocery store, okay? A lot of people, they're going to kind of nitpick and, look at the price on this. I'm going all organic because I know there's no chemicals in it. Sure, it costs me an extra, probably out of a $150 worth of groceries, going to cost me $20 to $25 more, but it's absolutely worth it. That is a necessity for me.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
you need
fair
to
enough.
pick your necessities, and you can splurge on that. But then there are things like motorcycles, cars, toys that are spending habits that are very poor. That's going to lose you money in the long run.
Yeah. Quick question: did you have debt when you got out of college? Did you have student loans?
I did not because.
Did you have debt when you got out of college?
Let's
Did you have
hear
student
why.
loans? No.
I know. I will. I want to hear yes or no. Why? Because.
Because I eat gyozas for a living.
Okay. Answer, wait, did you quickly? Just
I did have. Yes, I had debt coming up.
Okay, so I had debt too. So I think that is one thing that is totally for millennials or whatever you want to call us. That controls when you can get stuff. Like in your life, when you can get big purchases.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jay.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you brought that up because the number one key to saving money and to
not paying interest, baby,
and to increase your personal net worth is eliminating debt.
Is this a Who Invited Will official financial tip?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding,
number
ding,
one,
ding, ding.
Number one tip is eliminating debt. There's absolutely no doubt. Can I tell you a
caveat? Can I give a caveat on that?
I don't know because I was in the middle of a sentence.
I know, but mine's going to be more important than you.
Guys, the cattiness in this episode. When Neil is competing, he is a porcupine. He's a porcupine.
A caveat to this is it's important to eliminate debt. It's also important to eliminate high interest debt first.
Yes.
You need to be able to prioritize where you're spending your money and where you're saving it. And if you're going to pay down debt, to pay down the higher interest rate debt first.
Where is high interest rate debt?
Well, wait. One thing I would say though, a caveat to that is I did read a
double caveat.
A caveat to the caveat that one might say. He was
doing the horn.
Caveat alarm. It's a caveat alarm.
Okay. Caveat is I did read. So when I started my recent job, there was this coworker of mine, Zach. I won't say his last name, but he basically Zach Efron. Yeah, I was working with Zach Efron, and he was like, "Hey man, I might get out of software development and do acting." And I was like, "Dude, you're going nowhere. You're a terrible actor." And I was wrong. So yeah, no. Anyway, the real story is that was terrible. Was looking confused.
What was the caveat of that?
The caveat was this. So I was working with. You said that pay down high interest debts first, right? But I was working with this guy, and he told me about this. It's like 5 rules or 6 rules to financial freedom. Mm-hmm. I'll put like a little book reference or something up on the screen to in case people are interested. But it's basically like how do you get financial freedom, which is basically like you don't have to go to a job and you have enough money to live and do whatever you want, whatever that means for you. So it's like sort of you define it yourself. And in the first one was get out of debt, like the one we just said. But he said, the guy says actually pay down your highest balance loans first, because that psychologically is going to have a bigger impact, even though you might be paying more interest. Like having a huge balance loan is going to weigh on you more heavily. So if you pay the balance down first, like even though you will be paying an interest, if you actually are paying enough off the principal, then like that shouldn't be as big of an issue. You just want to get rid of big numbers, like big the length of the number.
So Jay is more focused on the psychological
100%. That's what helped me.
Issue.
Yeah, that's what helped me, was not just because I think getting out of debt is like such a scary.
However, let me.
You want to feel.
Can I caveat to the double caveat?
You can caveat.
We're gonna
we have a triple caveat, everyone.
Guys, we have the elusive triple caveat.
It's never been seen. Yeah, never been seen. I get it. I get the whole psychological battle of a big loan, but if that big loan has an interest of 1% and your lower loan has an interest of 24%, You gotta pay off the 24 credit card debt, people.
Don't,
Exception.
and that's what I would go into is
I want to go into.
Okay,
Credit card debt
Don't
first.
steal what I was
don't
going into.
you live within your means because you can you if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and your friends are going out and buying X, Y, or Z or going to dinner and you're trying to keep up with that, but then that's not actually what you're able to afford. What ends up happening is you get more and more in debt on credit cards, and that is only hurting you at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I it's crazy though because like, and I don't know, it gets into society, but like my dad has worked in the car business his entire life.
Okay.
Not selling cars, but selling like, basically, finance, which is, if people need loans from the bank, he will like,
look it up.
Various banks work with the dealership
Yeah.
and will like offer loans or selling things like warranties, like intangibles.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's a very good salesperson. I feel like he would talk down in terms of like how good he is at it, but he's basically taught me most that I know about sales, business, just like that kind of thinking. And it's funny because he says like you get people into like the office, right? And like of course it's easy to sell the car because you can like show somebody an awesome car, they get in, it feels great, like it feels right. But then they have to like get into him, which is like, what's my monthly payment? And he's the person who has to like convince the person to accept a higher monthly payment than what they want to pay. Everyone wants to be paying more.
Or higher interest too, because then
Right.
that's how they're. Or I mean,
Are
at
these
least when
new
I see
cars
people,
or used?
It doesn't matter. I mean, there's financing
It
for
does
whatever.
matter.
because you see the signs and like that's what they that's
sort
one of
of
the
does,
bigger things that they advertise to get people in the door is, hey, we're not going to check your credit, or
Right.
hey, it's 0% interest for 72 months.
But your monthly payment is going to be high, dude.
Yes.
Like, and so it's funny because one thing he told me was like, he'll be negotiating with somebody and it's like, well, I don't want to pay $400, I want to pay $300. And
Well,
it's
then
like,
you have to get a different car, motherfucker.
exactly. It's just like that's exactly what he says. Like, hey, you and I both know why we're sitting here. You're sitting here. You saw the car that was $300 a month. You didn't want that car. You want the car that's $400 a month. That's why we're having this conversation. If you got the car that was $200 a month, you'd be fine with this. So it's like, people don't need to have that car, but it's so hard in the moment to limit yourself when you're spending those decisions, like when you're making those spending decisions. And it's gotten easier with COVID. I would say that it's definitely gotten easier with COVID.
To me, and not that, like, your dad is on the very back end of that where it's actually getting down to the brass tacks. What I hate is pressure that comes from salespeople or even friends. Like, I wouldn't ever want to put one of my friends in a situation where I'm like, well, I'm spending this. Why aren't you? Or like a car salesman or any kind of salesman to say, well, no, you need to do this right now. Because all they're doing is playing off of that, like, emotional, ego, all of that, what is my self-worth? Well, I deserve
It's
this.
status.
It's
It's
status.
a
I want to
status
look
symbol.
a certain way. Yeah.
That's almost why I spend a lot when we go out and I buy people drinks, because I don't want people to feel like they can't party, I guess. But then also, on the flip side, it's like
You're hurting yourself.
But also I'm showing that, I can do this. You
Yeah,
can't. So
fair enough. Yeah.
people can interpret it. I need to plug the laptop in.
Okay.
We're
I'm
at-
glad.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, you got it.
Jay, I'm glad you brought up the car point.
Yeah.
Because number one,
Thank
you
you.
eliminate credit card debt because the interest on credit cards. Let's say you spend $5,000.
Yeah.
Let's say you have $5,000 a month. No, let's knock it
Keep
down.
eating,
Let's just
keep
do
eating,
number two.
keep eating
Yeah.
gyoza though.
Let's
While
go
you're
down to
talking.
2,000. 24%. If you have a monthly payment that you're not able to pay $2,000 worth, you're 24%.
Quick maths.
You ready for it? $480. $480 they're going to charge you. If you cannot pay $2,000, guess what? They're going to add $480 to your next month payment.
Credit
That
card companies fuck you like that, dude.
Well, because they prey on people who do not know
Another
how to
quick question.
spend.
Another quick
and
question.
that's what this whole episode is about spending appropriately.
Another quick question. Another quick poll.
But-
Do you pay down your credit card balances every month?
Yes, I've never missed a credit card
Do
payment.
you
Go
pay
to
down your
zero.
credit
Yeah.
card balances
I go
every
to
month?
zero.
I pay my credit card balance every month. I think this might be Who Invited Will financial tip number 2. Always pay down your balance every month.
That's number one. Eliminate credit card debt.
No, that was eliminate debt. That's in the long term. We're talking about every month in the short term.
Because his debt is not specifically related.
All right.
I never pay
wow.
interest.
Yeah,
I get
I
all
know,
because
exactly.
if you pay your balance down every month, you get all the points or whatever. Because you guys have rewards on your cards, right? Like
Yeah,
points
absolutely.
or cash back or whatever it is. You get the benefit of all of that, and you get none of the penalty.
Yeah.
Interest is penalty for carrying that debt over past a month.
Plus
That's
your
how I look at
credit
it.
score. If you're missing payments,
I keep
your
my credit
score's
score
going
like
to
between
be-
2 and 5% of my I keep my credit debt credit card
debt,
debt
yeah.
between like 2 and 5%. 5 would be like the max ever.
I thought you were
I'm
saying
carrying.
you were gonna keep your credit score
No.
between 200 and 500.
My credit my credit score is good. My credit score is like high 7s, low
Yeah.
8s.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
but
right.
I also don't have big debts. You guys both are homeowners,
Sure.
and that's totally different situation.
Yeah, I mean, my debt or my credit score, I think, was fairly good before. Maybe it's increased. I don't know. I don't check that either.
You don't check your credit score?
No.
But do you
Credit
get like do
Karma.
you sign up for Credit
Yeah.
Karma?
Yeah, yeah.
And they send it
They'll
to you
have
every
a
month.
notification. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I
but you
barely
at least
even click on
you
that.
at least have the ability to check it.
Yes,
every
yes,
month.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
But for
Why are-
me,
Will, why
my
are- go ahead.
ask your question. I'm curious.
Why is credit so important? Why do I need to have a good credit score?
Because I've had some friends that really get messed up. If you have bad credit, that means they're going to charge you a higher percent interest. You're more
On
risk.
what?
On anything, on car, on mortgage, on
Oh.
anything. Credit score matters
makes
a
sense.
lot, and I saw
That's
it
how they keep
when-
people in poverty.
Yes,
You know what I'm
because
saying? It's definitely an institution of,
and it
like,
makes
wealth
sense.
control.
It's the
Wealth-
same thing as they're saying. Well, you're a higher
Risk,
risk of
yeah.
not being able to pay, so you're going to have to pay us more for us to take
Yeah,
that.
But
but
doesn't it make sense?
No,
you
it
want to
makes
hate
it
on
makes
it,
perfect
but
sense.
you know what? If you're gonna loan someone money and you're saying, "So how much can I trust this person to actually make their payments?" You're gonna want to know their score of them making actual payments. Give me a break.
Right, but I guess that part makes the complete total sense to me. But the part that doesn't make sense to me is that like the loans that become available to people who have low credit scores are loans that are going to fuck their credit score even
Yes.
more. They have high interest loans, high default loans, predatory lending. Like predatory lending is a problem. Like the housing crisis was caused by people who were like, let's not look for good credit score people. Let's look for bad credit score.
But
people.
you know,
And
predatory.
then we can get them. We can entice them with the promise of home ownership, and get them into these predatory loans, which we know they're not going to pay because
All
we're
right.
structuring them in such a way that is going to be tough.
You're also flashing back to something that happened 12 years ago. Predatory lending is basically out the door as far as it comes to
You
big
mean
loans.
it doesn't exist?
No, it still exists. Small loans, $1,000 loans, $2,000 loans, $10,000 loans, not home mortgages. That's
Yeah.
gone. There's a lot of regulations, a lot of oversight.
Well,
when
there's
it
a lot
comes to
less
that.
home ownership. There's a lot less home ownership
And-
Because of that.
yeah, right. And
What-
I think that's a good thing, though.
What-
In
It
some sense,
absolutely is a good thing.
In some sense, it's a great.
Why
thing.
do you think we've been in a bull market ever since?
Yeah.
The stock market has been rising.
Thanks,
since-
Obama.
The one thing I would say about that,
Right.
though, is then you also get into a social.
We're
I'm
getting
not
a little-
sure. No, I know we're getting a little. Let me just get this one thing, and I'll come and bring it back in.
No. I like the passion.
The
Say two
one
things if you
thing
want.
that I think also describes that is then you start to hear of like then there's specific examples of where in black neighborhoods then the property value is super low or that then they're not even giving them loans. So then
Right.
it's this whole idea of
Well, that's what
you're
I'm
not
saying.
even giving me. You're not even giving me a high percent interest.
Right.
You're not even giving me
Anything.
a loan for
Well,
it.
and
So
also,
I can't be a homeowner.
If I'm a
because-
responsible black person who lives in a black neighborhood because that's where I grew up,
Yeah.
and I fucking do everything right,
Yeah.
but my neighbors are fuckheads,
yeah.
then I get assessed lower because those people's decisions. So it's not personal responsibility anymore. It's like I live in an area where there are
Yeah.
other people who are going to be assessed lower, and so I get fucked over. But it's like it's not fair that like I can understand it affecting like I can understand it affecting your own
Sure,
like
yourself. You
your
you
own
can
power,
control your own
purchasing
destiny.
power. But
Yes.
then when you have to prioritize like the individual actions over
Yeah.
the collective, and in homeownership that does like fuck people over. I mean, I'm just saying.
No,
like,
I
there are
disagree.
places people want to live and don't want to live.
Who's buying low income housing? Who's buying that?
No, but
Why
I'm saying
would that?
if you,
Well, they
if
can
you-
afford it.
But if you are a responsible homeowner, like low income housing isn't something you decide about your house. It's something that gets designated to your house in your area. I'm just saying, like, you want to reward. It's almost like the person who is living in a low-income area but does everything right should have, like, a higher credit score than someone living around other people with good credit scores. In a way.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's almost like an affirmative action argument in a weird way.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about racial injustice, and I want to talk a little bit about how do we get to that point where you're going to actually buy a house? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and we're not even there. We're really jumping a lot. My turn.
No. Let me get this, because this is you.
This better be fucking good. I swear to God, I better blow my mind.
It is.
I swear to God, there better be fireworks above my head.
My number 2, if we're going to say the first thing you need to do is decrease your debt, my number 2 is to pay yourself. And you do that through 401k.
That's number 3. Wait, number 3 of Who Invited Will's financial tips. Always pay yourself first.
Let me finish the...
Ladies and gentlemen, he's wrong.
Always pay yourself first.
You got to pay yourself first. And that comes down to your 401k. Most people that are working today, their companies have a 401k set up, and they will match anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 12%. That is
12% matching is strong. If they're
really
paying
strong.
like 6 up to 12, that's strong.
Really, really strong.
I would say it's usually up to 3 is the average. Probably average.
I would
3 up to 6. Like they
3
pay.
to 6. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is money that they are giving you to save for your future, and they will usually match that anywhere from 3 to 6%. 100%, and then some places have, if you go up to 10, will match 50%. There's a lot of stuff, but that is money they're giving you. And if you're not matching at least what they're going to pay, you're taking money out of your own pocket and not using the benefits that your employer has given you to the full advantage.
And it's not just your employer, it's the government's giving you. Like, that is tax-free money that can be contributed.
Or after tax, Roth IRA.
No,
well, if you're paying like a
it's pre-tax money.
It's pre-tax money, right?
For the most part, traditional.
And then your employer doesn't have to pay tax on that money they're setting aside too. So ultimately, it's helping them more than paying you a salary.
Neil's ready to hop in and.
Will has jumped from step 2 to step 7 in one statement, and we got to slow it down a little bit.
I think you know what this episode has been. If anything, this episode has been fast. Fucking pace. We have come in hot.
Not as fast as Neil's eating those gyoza, am I right?
What are you at, Neil? What are you at?
I don't even want to count any of this.
Are you at 17?
I lost.
18?
It doesn't even matter at this point. It really doesn't matter. I'm focused on the financials.
They're chicken?
Listen.
Are they good?
Can I try one? Yeah.
It doesn't matter about the gyozas. It doesn't matter about the gyozas at this
competition
point.
Season.
This is D1 athlete mental.
You know why it doesn't
right
matter?
Here.
You know why it doesn't matter about the gyozas? Because I've been saving responsibly to pay for the beers and the donuts that are going to be in that challenge.
And also, if you want to split the podcast lights with me.
I agree.
Speaking of financial, if you guys want to split the podcast lights with me, it's $40. I don't mind owning the podcast lights. So, but I'm saying if it was split 3 ways, it would be $40
Let's talk about step number 2.
Yeah.
Will says step number 2.
Total,
Will says that the steps.
Cheaper than a lot of
the second step is to build a 401k. The second step is not build a 141.
I agree.
A 1401.
I'm not saying steps. I'm saying, and I know where you're going, and I agree. So continue.
Where am I going then, if you know where I'm going?
Well, I would assume where you're going is you need to have money. You need to have 3 to 6 months of savings to cover your expenses.
It's pretty close, ladies and gentlemen. The second thing you need to do is eliminate any car note you have. Because guess what? That is interest.
That's debt. That's the same thing that we already covered in 1.
I really wish I could voice my opinion.
We got to 3, right?
No, we're on step 1. 1 is different. 1 is credit card debt, interest of 24%.
We never said credit card because we
this
brought
is what
this
happens
up
when we talk about
college.
We never said credit card. Number 1 is credit card debt.
Credit card debt.
I can't wait to flash back and just look like an idiot.
Hey, wait for the flashback. When we're talking about debt in general.
Are you upset? Do you want a beer? I have one Pilsner. I have one Pilsner Urquell beer. I have one Pilsner Urquell beer.
The thing that we were talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Step number 2. Let me talk, Will.
I know, but Neil, the whole thing we were talking about college. We were talking about college debt. We weren't talking about credit cards specifically. We were saying high interest debt, and that relates to.
And when we flash back to the credit card debt, where I said it's literally the number 1 thing.
Grab Neil a beer.
Great.
Neil.
Thank God.
This episode is intense.
Who invited him?
Eating gyoza and talking about your financial situation.
Number one, let me talk about step one. Step one is
lot.
credit card debt, which is 20 to 24%, 18 to 24% interest rate. Number two is car notes. Car notes. Car notes.
Get rid of your car note.
Used car interest rate will range you from about 6 to 12%.
Dude, have as much capital as you want.
Because
too.
I'm gonna go back.
Because it is a used car. Because it is a used car, there are stipulations. You're not, even if you have a great credit, your lowest interest rate you're going to pay on that is probably 6%. Okay? Guess what? You cannot write off interest on car notes you're paying. Car notes are basically going to the fire. You need to pay off your car, truck, automobile as fast as you possibly can. But the main thing is you need to get rid of credit card interest first. So, 2, you get that done. You paid off your car note. Now what, Neil? Let me tell you. The number 3 thing.
Now what, Neil?
Neil, can you tell us what number 3 would be?
It's not saving your 401k, Will, you idiot. Let me tell you, Jay, what you need to do. You need to save cash from your paycheck, guys.
Save
20%. Hey, it's a goal. Hey, by 20%.
20% is...
If you can save 20%,
I feel like there's Gyoza Flex on the pop screen.
20%.
Neil's spitting Gyoza onto the mic.
If you can save 20% of your paycheck, okay.
If, Neil, that is such a bit. I think
I said if.
I know, but okay.
And you didn't even let me finish my sentence once again.
Because I don't think that's even realistic. 20%.
It's very.
Let's talk about.
It's as real as it gets.
Realistic for you because you might be a high income earner. Let's talk about someone that works minimum wage or a little bit above.
Is it better if I say 5 to 20%?
Yes.
20% being excellent.
Save what you can.
5 to 20. Let's give people realistic numbers.
No, but you gotta set hard goals for yourself.
Okay. 5
if
to 20%.
If you can save 5, save 5. If you can
save what you can. What kind of stupid advice? 5 to 20%. 20% being excellent. If you know what, if you can save 40%, do it. Save the cash because guess what? That's gonna be able to get you out of. That's gonna be able to get you out of renting. It's gonna be able to let you invest in stocks. And it's going to be able to let the money work for you.
The second.
So if you want to do that,
look at the audience.
You need to save
look at our lovely, beautiful audience. We love you.
Hey, but first, get rid of that debt.
Get rid of the
debt. Forget about the bling.
Do you want
Forget
some water?
About the cars.
Want some more water?
Forget about the cars. Forget about the accessories. Focus on getting rid of debt because it's going to hinder you.
So you're going back
to kind of like put a bow on this.
Yeah, because it's so important.
To kind of put a bow on this, I feel like I am a referee in a UFC fight right now in terms of Neil and Will's opinions on finance. But to kind of put a bow on this, I think that so I'll say the first time I was out of debt when I said student loans was last November.
Nice.
And it is November 2020, November 2019. So it's been exactly 1 year. And
in 1 year anniversary.
My 1 year anniversary of being out of debt. I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate the round of applause.
Fireworks.
Anyway, so yeah, what I've been focusing on, the second rule that guy said in the 6 rules to financial freedom or whatever you want to call it. The second rule to financial freedom was saving an emergency fund. So that's what I've been focusing on the last year. Just making sure if I lost my job, if I had to be without a job for 6 months, could I survive? Or even a year, and I've
3 to 6 months is that
3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So I think I'm at 3 and my goal is 6, but once you get to the 3, you kind of feel like, okay, I can pause a little because I can pay rent for a year plus have no money for anything else. But at least I'd have an apartment for 6 months and be able to eat reasonably,
Sure.
Once you get to 3 months,
standard
you
of
feel
living, maintain that,
right? So yeah, I think that's kind of the next step is to make sure you have enough money. It's part of pay yourself, but save for yourself. You need to have savings so that if there's a cataclysmic life event. If you get hit by a bus,
can you turn that off so that we don't hear your thing?
Wait, who are you texting?
How is that important?
I'm paying off my credit card debt because I need to do that.
The thing that I would say,
Curran, Hey, shout outs Curran
Bala.
If you watch this, the key word you need to text me is hockey. If you text me hockey, I know you watched. And anyone else who's my friend, if you watch this, text me hockey.
The word of the episode is hockey. 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 All right.
Okay, so what I would...
So wrap it up. Final word.
I actually am going...
Advice.
Yes. The final thing that I would say is I actually still might put my advice over... Or the... Putting in the 401k over the... over your savings, because what happens is when it's removed, you're basing your whole life off of what you're getting on that paycheck, and you're making plans on that I guess that mentality. And if the money is coming out before you're ever seen it, you're saving for your future.
And you'll never notice it.
You don't notice it because you say, "Oh, my check is."
Hey, the key is to be able to afford that, though. And how do you be able to afford that? You pay off your debt.
True. No, well, that was
that's on
number
one.
No, but what I'm saying, Will, is that was the other way in which the financial freedom guy. Just like
let's have the flashback again.
Will's still on step 7. I'm sorry, everyone.
Okay, Jay, let's finish it up so then we can get to
So what I was
Neil.
saying is that's the other way
we're
in
not
which
finishing up. I'm going to say something.
Okay,
you got to find a word, Neil.
Yeah, of course.
You got to find a word, and your final word is gyoza, which you did not eat. Let's keep that.
Didn't even get close.
You got to win a challenge on the show, Neil. You can't always lose when you're on the show. Neil wins every challenge when he's not being recorded, and when he's being recorded. He's not won yet. He lost the fast food challenge.
He's known for taking
L's.
L's.
The Gyoza challenge. All right? Now let me talk about financial freedom. Look, I love you, bro, but you're a fucking winner, dude. This guy's a D1
Why am I losing on this stupid?
Because you gotta show up when the cameras are on, baby. It's showtime. We're the Lakers.
No, finish
next challenge, you win.
Have your last segment, then Neil can.
My last word
statement
on the financial freedom talk, which I think was actually a really interesting talk. It wasn't. We weren't the funniest this episode, but I think we were just intense, which is probably entertaining.
And I wish we would have actually talked more about. That was.
I wish we would have talked about steps 1 through 6. We talked about step 7 of Will saying you need to invest in 401k. I'm sorry, everyone.
So the other step, when he said save, he said actually save an emergency fund before your 401k.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're missing out. It's a cycle. It goes back to the psychological components of saving. And
but
I'm going to put
security.
This up. He goes
that makes sense.
Security of you having the money in an account that you can access immediately gives you another sense of it's about empowering yourself to get control over your funds. And then after that, once you've had 3 to 6 months saving, then contribute the hell out of your 401k. Sure. That should be your main thing, because you know you're covered in case something happens, something bad happens, and a flood floods your fucking house. You get hit by, you're riding your bike to work and you get hit by a car and you have thousands of dollars emergency fund bills. At least you know that you have that rainy day fund, and that rainy day fund is psychologically more important than your 401k, even though it's less money. Even though in the end of the day it is a less
and I was just trying to make sure that I had a thing over Neil, but I'm gonna reverse it one more time. That's a third reverse, everyone. I'm gonna go back to having that, because it doesn't matter if I have money in my 401k and I lose my job. Money that's bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Exactly.
Why would I want money in the future that I can't spend? Or you're gonna get charged super crazy interest.
But walking around with 20 grand in your pocket feels good.
Baby. Cash is king. Yeah. That's rule number 1.
All right, Neil.
So rule number 3 is cash is king. Actually, Will says rule number 1.
I love how we've been.
It's actually rule number 3. So rule number 3. Rule number 3.
The editing is going to be
rule number 3 is very important. Is you need to save enough cash to let you live without a job, without any income coming in for 6 months. You need to save up that cash. That's rule number 3. Rule number 4, do not dabble into the stock market unless you know what you are doing. Too many people are just buying stocks of companies of what they like, buying penny stocks because they're cheap. You don't know what you're doing, okay? Do not dabble into that. If you want to make money,
mutual funds,
without having even better, because mutual funds are going to cost you 1.5%. ETFs are also going to cost you 1.5 to 2%. I would love to say it, but Will keeps fucking interrupting.
No, I'm in ETF, so I want to hear that.
Great. Well, you're paying too much.
In terms of like what? In terms
if
of
you
commission?
want to make money, it's called.
That's what he said.
It's called. A lot of people don't know about this.
My Vanguard ETF has a pretty low fee though.
Oh, does it?
It's less
What
than
is
a
it?
percent.
Do you know what it
It's
is,
less
or
than-
do you
I
just
think
say
it's
It's less than a
percent.
percent.
Great.
100%.
less than a percent is
Yes.
too much? If you're under 0.5%, that's the right
Okay,
amount
let's
to pay.
hear. Let's hear. This. I'm.
You want to make money?
Yes.
It's called universal life insurance. Because everyone wants to leave their family feeling good. Let's say something tragic
You don't have a
happens to you.
family.
I will have a family. I have two parents. Do I not?
You are alone.
Do I have two parents?
You do have two parents.
So
I caught you.
where did my
Sorry.
money go to?
I don't have COVID. I'm
That's
sorry.
two right now. I'm going to have a family. Okay, enough of that. Universal life insurance. When you get older, if you want to have a term life insurance policy, let's say you're 60 years old and you want to have a life insurance policy for your family from 60 to 69 years old, you're going to pay crazy premiums because you're very likely to possibly pass away. So you're going to burn money. There's term, there's whole life, and there's universal life. I recommend any of our young listeners out there get a universal life policy when you're 23, 22 years old because they're going to do a health check. You're going to qualify for a low payment
Look at the camera.
every month. Your premium's going to be extremely low. Guess what? When you're 60, if you do a term life policy, you're going to be paying $300 a month. Guess what you're going to be paying if you're universal life?
What's
You're
that?
going to be paying about $23 a month because you
$23
started
a
when you're
Neil,
23.
you're
month.
putting.
You can save money in the
Month.
account. It
Money.
gains 4 to 6% interest. You'll gain money. It's the
4 to
best way. Listen,
a year?
Universal more
4 to 6% a year.
a year, and it's guaranteed. If the market
There's
goes down
a
30%.
There's a minimum that you have to put in. How
It
much?
depends on how much your universal life policy. If you want $1 million policy, if you want a $250,000, meaning what is the amount of money is going to go to your family after you pass away. The higher the amount of money, the higher premium you're going to have to put in every
Okay,
month.
fair enough. Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, so
Pause.
then what?
Pause. What I want our listeners to take note of is how Neil says M words. I love how you month.
Making money.
He every word he goes like money. You want to
That's 'cause
make
he's-
money? You
that's
want to
be-
do it every month? Then you got to make monthly money, and it just sounds really good. I like it. That's another
Wow,
reason to love
great
you, Neil.
contribution.
It's another thing I'm very attracted to the way you say M words. It almost seems Persian. Like even that face you just did. It feels like it's like you're sort of like
Kubide?
like it
how you
carries
say
more weight.
Kubide.
Say it.
Listen,
Say Kubide.
look up.
Kubide.
No, I'm going to tell the people they need to know. Universal life policies.
Yours.
Money.
Look them up. State
Neil.
Farm, Brady Bauer. I see you, baby.
Brady Bauer.
Let's do it.
Shout out.
He's a
He
great-
saved me a
Just a
lot
great
of
agent.
money.
He's a great
He
agent,
saved me a lot of
especially
money
if you're in
on
Brady,
Colorado.
watch
insurance.
this episode. Watch this episode, Brady.
But
We're
Brady,
talking
if you're
about
watching
Neil.
this episode, what was the word?
Months?
money.
No, the word that you have to send into me.
Yeah, hockey.
Hockey. Brady, if you're watching, text me hockey.
Okay.
Chelsea,
So
okay.
that was
Why?
Neil's
Okay,
last
third
that-
break.
Hey, I think that
Come
this
on.
is about
That was
the time.
Neil's last paragraph, last book.
spitting
more
that he
gyoza-
was
you
word-
spitting more
it's
gyozas
not his
on the
last
mic?
word.
Guys.
So Neil has 2 questions that people have sent in.
Well, let me take the floor.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Where are we at, Jay?
Neil's got issues, yeah.
Oh, not your best. It was good. I like it. Do it again.
I want to really
Do it
hear
again.
why you don't like the big head
Neil's
thing.
got
Of
issues.
because he
Neil's
sounds
got
like,
issues, yeah.
Yes.
That was
Very
it?
good.
That was the one?
Guys, we got a lot of user interaction
intro.
after last episode. We got a lot of questions here. I got a good one for you guys.
So,
You're gonna struggle
Neil's
a
Got
little bit.
Issues is a segment where you send issues and Neil answers them on the podcast.
Neil does not. We answer
I
them.
don't answer
He
them.
just
Neil reads your issues.
Wow, he's really good at this.
I've had this knob. American bourbon is so strong, dude. You drink a sip and then you're just like you're whiskey will for a day.
Let's go to issue number 1
Please.
that was submitted. My boyfriend of 2 years told me some whack shit the other night.
Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Oh no, he
He
didn't.
told me he has wandering eyes,
Uh-huh.
and I know it has nothing to do with me.
Because you fine as hell, girl. You a goddess. You a
But,
queen. Yes, queen.
but He wants to fuck other girls.
He told you?
Trust me.
Wait. He told him that?
He said this to her.
Okay,
Oh,
continue.
no. Okay.
And she says,
Oof.
trust me, he would never cheat on me, and he has never cheated on me. I know this for a fact. But, no, don't say anything. But it really hurt my self-esteem and has messed with my head. Should I offer him a threesome? Or should I walk away? FYI, I'm 26 years old, and he is 35 years old.
Are they living? Do we don't know that. Okay.
I don't know if they're living
How about this?
together.
Wait.
My boyfriend of 2 years. What?
Jay can go first.
We gotta move on from
That's
this one. We gotta move on from this one. All right, look.
Jay can go first on this, and then I'll follow it up.
There it is. Listen, I just want to say that, number one, thank you for actually sending in a real issue. I think, number one, like, this sounds like something that was probably emotionally difficult, right? Because if I was in this person's shoes, I would feel bad, right? Like, imagine your partner
You want
says...
that beer?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you can literally never...
Like, that's like
You
the
can-
worst time to say
You
something
can
like that. Just
literally
point to it.
never fucking get mad at us for interrupting you again.
Yeah.
That was the worst interruption in the show.
Yeah, that's-
Okay,
it's
I'm
been-
sorry.
there's probably been, like,
Continue.
8
I'm sorry.
times.
Continue.
No,
Yes,
I
agree.
have to start over.
Okay.
Number one, it sounds like it was an emotion. What do you
Yes,
mean?
I'm sorry.
I'm talking, dude. Will, are you? How much knob
So
cream?
what
do you
should
have?
she
I'm
do?
saying I'm sorry
What should she do?
for
Should
the
she have the
person to-
threesome?
No. Okay. Look.
He's
No.
getting to it.
I appreciate the fact that this person sent in a real issue that actually sounds like a really difficult thing to go through. And thanks for trusting us. Number one, what I have to say is we don't have the answers. We will just give you our honest opinion. And what I would say is I think that you don't have to do anything. It sounds like this person hurt your feelings by saying something which made you insecure about the relationship. And the only reason you're thinking of having to give anything, threesome, attention, it's not me. You're thinking, oh, is it me? Is it the way that I look? No, it just has nothing to do with you. They are having doubts, or they are having a quote-unquote wandering eye, which really just means, what are you looking for? An exit, in my mind. A little bit of a, what if this person was with me? What if that person was with me? You didn't do anything to cause this. It's almost like this person has done something negative to you, and now you need to tell them, hey, you can have a wandering eye. I don't know why you told me that unless you are not having doubts about this relationship. Because there's no reason that if you were with somebody, of course you look at other people. Of course you think other women are attractive. Look at my Instagram feed. It's madness. But but like that doesn't threaten the person. And I would never just go like, hey, I'm on Instagram. I'm looking at all these other chicks. I would never cheat on you though. Like why bring that up? If that's not an issue, why bring it up at all? I just feel like if this person is having doubts, and you don't need to do anything. You don't need to offer anything additional to what you're doing. They need to figure out if they're actually committed to the relationship. 100%.
Exactly. To me, I really like that advice, and just to kind of piggyback off of that, I would say
Please.
I have people that are super close to me in my life that have gone through similar situations where their partner came to them and said, well, I've always been this way. I've always seen people, multiple people at the same time, and this is just kind of like who I am. And you kind of, and it was presented like, well, you need to conform to this idea of a relationship because this is what I need. But really what that comes down to is, to me, it's like an ego thing. It's that person is not secure enough with themselves or not secure enough with the relationship, getting back to what you're saying, that they want to provide something else. That, okay, well, do I still have it? Can I have this? Or is it a boredom thing? And
it's a total
at the
ego
end of
thing.
it
It's
ego.
not about you. It's about them.
It
It has
100%.
nothing to do with how
And-
you have been in the relationship. It has to do with their commitment level, their
Yes.
ego issues, do new people still want to have sex with me? Whatever it is, it's really about them.
And
That's what I agree.
At the end of the day, if they really do love and care for you, that's one of the sacrifices that people make.
And it doesn't feel like a sacrifice if you are committed and you like
Yes.
the person. You're like, no, I want to get closer to you.
And it's that exactly. But then it's also just like, well, I don't need to have sex with someone else. But then it's just, well, even if they look good, that doesn't mean that what is it? This is it's more of that whole like instant gratification. Do they? How much? Let's say you have sex with someone that is not your partner.
Right.
Is that really that much better than someone that you love and can connect with?
No, it could be.
Well,
it could be.
And this is why I want to get to my point.
Okay,
what's your
let's
point?
hear it.
My point is, if you allow him to have a threesome and you start that threesome pattern,
Slippery slope.
guess what?
What?
He's gonna start having threesomes without you.
Yeah.
It's very
And they're called twosomes with other people.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's called cheating.
It's a slippery
I'm just saying,
slope, and you need to have
when you
respect
give a
for
mouse
yourself.
a cookie.
Yeah.
He's gonna want a glass
He
of
has a
milk,
foursome.
right? He then
With
has
that-
an orgy
Yes.
without you there, and your mom might be there.
Oh, no.
It does get down
Or your
to
best
just like
friend, or any chick
there's-
he can fuck because he doesn't want to
Could
be.
be.
Yeah.
there has to be some self-respect there on your point to say, or your part to say, hey, you know what? I deserve better than this. Yes, it's great to be in a relationship. Yes, it's great to feel loved. But when it becomes that whole situation where then it's this passive-aggressive energy, it's this negative energy.
Why bring this
But remember,
up? Why bring it up? Everyone
Well,
has a
he brought
wondering
it up
eye.
because he felt bad about it. Because
He had a
doesn't
wandering
want.
eye
He has a wandering
with his
eye, and he
penis.
feels bad
He
about
has
it.
a wandering penis. Hey, if wandering eye is fine, wandering penis though, then you got to be getting
His
tested.
eye on
You
his
gotta
penis
get
is
tested.
one.
So
You gotta
let's
get
wrap
tested.
this up and get on. Is there
Well,
one
no,
more?
I would
Yeah.
just say, I would just
Yeah, I
say,
want to hear.
you don't again. If you're happy in a relationship, if you're secure in a relationship, everyone has a wandering eye. Everyone
Yes,
notices
exactly.
other people are attractive. It's insane not to notice other women are attractive. But if you're happy in a relationship, you don't say it to your partner.
Okay, but
And wouldn't you all agree? If you're happy in a relationship, you don't bring up the wandering eye conversation.
But you have to remember, she's only 26. He's 35, right? He may have
more
this ego.
reason that his eyes should stop wandering
No,
there because he's fucking
but he's obviously
9
a
years
child.
older than her.
No, but he's obviously immature.
Why
He has
would
an
you say
ego
obviously?
Because
Why
he
obviously?
obviously he doesn't. He's not happy with what he has. Obviously.
Well, that's what
wants
we're
more.
saying. We don't think you should have a threesome with him. We think you should ask him, why are you not happy with what you have?
No,
I think
you walk
there's
away.
there's
I think
also
hey,
one
walk away.
caveat
You're
to
26
this.
years old. There's going to be
Yeah.
plenty of guys that want you for who you are without wanting to have a threesome. There's no
There
doubt. I don't know
is
who you are. But
the only
I do know who you
caveat.
are.
The only caveat that I'll have on that is we are framing this question around the idea that this is like a monogamous relationship.
It is a monogamous relationship.
It is, but there are people that I also know that are not in monogamous relationships.
is a monogamous relationship.
Well,
So
it sounds like this person wants
I'm just
some
trying to
monogamous.
let
Focus on
people
the
know.
monogamous.
Okay,
We're open
I'm
to
just-
polygamy for sure, or
or-
not polygamy. Wait. Sorry.
That the people-
polyamory.
that people-
Polygamy.
Who's open to polyamory?
No,
I'm
one
open
is.
to I have a book
No,
about polyamory.
no. Well, he might be, but
polyamory
I'm not
bullshit.
saying that either. And
No,
I'm
not for myself. I'm just saying. I'm
just
open to
in general,
people
other
doing it.
people, and that's the point I was getting at. If it's your idea going in, then it's a whole
Like, if
different
you
ball
wanna have
game.
a threesome,
but
have a threesome.
if you don't feel comfortable, yeah, exactly.
If
that's
you're
my
curious
point.
and you're like, I want to fuck a chick and my boyfriend
But
at the
if
same time,
if you have that
go
gut
for
check
it,
with
dude.
yourself to say, do I really want another woman here, and it's saying no, then listen to that, because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Could
listen
be another
to your
dude.
gut.
We don't know.
Hey, wait.
So-
That's a good point. Wait, I would say she gave us a multiple choice test. We did not answer. Offer him a threesome or walk away. I say
What would
walk
you do?
away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
Walk away.
You're 26 years old.
Yeah.
My God, walk away.
Question 2.
All right.
Question 2.
Question 2.
That was a great question, by the way.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you.
for sending that
Hey,
in. I appreciate that.
Hey, Neil, Will, and Jay.
Those are us.
Love the
That's
podcast.
me.
Long time listener, first time asking a question.
That's awesome. I love that
Yeah.
format. It's like
Caller, go caller.
Yeah.
What are y'all's Thanksgiving side power rankings?
Oh.
I'm a big mac and cheese guy myself. Looking forward to y'all's rankings.
So it
Guys-
turns out Neil is gaming the system to ask his questions that we didn't want to talk about. Because
All right, mac and cheese number 1. Number 2, green bean casserole. If you don't have a green bean casserole, then you've got nothing. And then mashed potatoes. You gotta have mashed potatoes. What are y'all guys' power rankings?
thanks everyone for joining in. We'll see
Hey,
you next week.
Appreciate it. Season 2, episode 2. Let's go.
In
Thanks
the
for
books.
watching. Bye.
All right.
That was good. I think that was a good one.
Fair enough.
That was long. It felt long.